Hello, welcome to the other Engage Talks today with Jiří Hlavenka. Engage Talks are organized by Growport, and before I will pass my word to Jiří and to Petr, who will guide it, um, I want to spend a couple of minutes on introducing Growport, who is organizer of this event. Growport is angel fund. There is the possibility of active involvement of investors. Actually, we are here for people in a certain situation. People who are experienced manager, maybe 40, 50 years old plus, and they have very successful corporate career behind themselves, and they are looking for a new challenge. Maybe they want to participate in some meaningful project, and maybe they heard about startup, and that's something which is cool and they could be involved in, but they don't know how to start, where to start, how to source the startups, how to be involved, and so they basically give up on this opportunity. And we think that it's a shame, and we are here for such a people to actually try it with us, to be involved partially with their corporate career, and to try if the startups are the right things for them or not. If not, that's okay, because they can come back to their job. If so, they can maybe become an investor for a full time. So actually, what we are saying that we do, or what we are incubator for investors. So basically, recruiting new investors to the industry, because we want to educate the system. And it's not just about the investment, but it's also about the education itself. So we don't do just the investment, but we promise that we will be growing and educating the investors community in the Czech Republic. And therefore, 1 year ago, we started with a conference which is called Engaged Investment Conference. And it was a very successful event where we put together over 100 people from all around the Czech Republic, but also from abroad, people who are business angels, people who are considering to become a business angels, people who are involved in startups as a mentors or VC community. All these people come together to share their experience. We had many interesting speeches. We had nice workshops, nice educational workshops, roundtables, and most importantly, we have networking among all participants, and such we grow the community and educate the community. And we promise to the community that we will repeat this every year, and we took the commitment that we are going to educate the business angels community in the Czech Republic. Unfortunately, due to current situation, we are not able to do it on physical spot this year, but we are pushed to move it online. But it doesn't matter, because Engage Investment Conference is going to happen. Is going to happen next week on Thursday from 4 p.m. And actually, because it's online, we have opportunity to welcome more speakers from abroad, and actually to educate our people by peoples from abroad. So what you can look forward? You can look forward to 5 amazing speeches from a different perspective about the engaged investment. There will be Vít Horký as a speaker, who will tell us more about his way from being a founder and becoming an investor. There will be Kimmo Irpola, who is a business angel in Finland, and he will be talking about the cooperation among business angels in Finland, how it works, how their business angels network and association works, and what we can take from them. There will be Cedric, who will be speaking about how to be involved in startup as an engaged investor. So some mistakes which may be been done in the past and how to avoid them. There will be Jacopo, who is IBAN director, talking also about business angel network in entire Europe, and what are the possibilities for business angels to be involved. And there will be Roger King, who was already speaker last year. He is from US, from Silicon Valley, and he is a big inspiration on how to do things. So it's a great. He has a lot of great stories and good case practices which is going to share with us, and I think it's gonna be amazing. So these 5 people are gonna have 5 speeches, and these speeches will be followed by a panel discussion where you participants will have a possibility to ask the questions and actually interact with the speakers. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we are all about like learning together, growing as a community. And although it's not on a physical spot, we want you to provide you an opportunity to network among yourself and to learn from each others, and maybe to start a new great cooperation. So therefore, it will be run on a platform where online networking among participants is possible. And I hope that you will really use this experience and this opportunity, and you will network as much as possible, and you will get new partnership and new contacts and maybe new deals out of that. So this is gonna happen next Thursday, and what you can do to participate is just simply go to our website engage.investments and register there. The registration is for free, which is amazing. And when you register there, we are going to send you the link, and you can connect through that link on this event. So once again, it's going to be next Thursday on 8th of October, and we are all looking forward to welcome you there. And now that's it from my side, and I would like to pass my word to Petr Šíma, partner in Growport, who is going to lead the interview with Jiří Hlavenka. So Petr, stage is yours.
Good afternoon. It is my biggest pleasure to welcome Jiří Hlavenka, probably one of the most successful angel investors in the country and probably in the region as well. Hi, Jiří.
Good afternoon. Probably only in the country and one of the best ones, for sure, to be sure. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. Before we start, I have a brief note to everybody watching us. You have chance to ask questions to Jiří. Just if you are on the YouTube registered, you should see on the right side the query sessions or discussions question. Please write it down there, and at the end we will go through your question with Jiří. Now, Jiří, we met when you were exiting your computer press company, and I think it was something like 2000. It's a long time ago. Was it your first company that you founded, or?
Not really. I've done actually a very small business even during the previous regime when it was almost forbidden, but we managed it somehow. And I founded my first company a couple of months after this Velvet Revolution has occurred. So in April 99, if I'm right. So that was but it was also the publishing house with very narrow focus. So after a couple of years, we decided to start a new company with much broader focus.
I see. So then came the computer press, but computer press was your first exit, wasn't it?
Sort of, yeah. I've sold my stake in the previous company, but well, it is not fair to call it exit because it was just a straight sell to other shareholders for not a big price.
Yeah. But anyway, looking on your company today, would you call it startup?
Which one?
Well, computer press or the others.
Okay. Yeah. True. We were. What was interesting that we were actually something like incubator. Yeah. So at one side we were a standard company, almost a corporation with, let's say, 500 million Czech crowns revenue. At those times it was a lot. Yeah. In the publishing house we were the largest actually publishing house in the non-fiction literature field. But at the same time we incubated something like 20 different activities. Mostly in the field of internet, because we were one of the first company that understood internet well. Yeah, in Czech Republic. So very early we got a connection. It was maybe one of the first companies in Brno. We had a connection, so we learned internet. And we founded like 20 activities, with some of them incubated inside the computer press. We spin off some of them. Some did not survive, of course, because there was a lot, and some were successfully exited later. So we were sort of some roof for incubating business ideas or technology ideas at those times under the roof of the computer press and financed by the computers, which is important to say.
Yeah. So you might have been one of the first founders, which leads me to the question: how would you define startup? Because the entrepreneurship or startup here in this part of Europe, not many people know exactly what startup is or what they can consider startup or not.
Well, I would rather stick to the broader sense of the word. So it is every company which has started and has some entrepreneurship spirit. It's in the first years of the existence, is growing, has some goals, and that's it. Yeah. So I would say the startup is a pretty broad range. In the slightly narrow range, the startup is really something that has an ambitions. Yeah. Because if you just open a pub, it is a pub. It is not a startup, to be honest. Yeah. But okay, you can say that a pub is a startup. But for me, the startup is something that has. It doesn't need really to have an international global ambition, but it has some ambition that is much more bigger than it is some local footprint. To say, okay, let's dominate on the Czech market, let's dominate on regional market, let's be a large player. This is something that is a necessary part of a company that I would call startup. It is not a pub or coffee house.
Yeah. So I wonder what happened since we last met 20 years ago, or even when you exited or partially exited. What happened with you afterward?
A lot of things, to be honest. Well, this is a long story. During some process, we exited all the companies under the roof of computer press because we had as a as a minority investor and a U.S. fund called Bancroft. I remember that times well, and I'm very glad that I worked with those people because they taught me a lot. Yeah, it was very fair people, and they helped us not only with money. So it was something I would call today smart money, and they taught me how to found new companies and how to manage new companies and how to exit the companies. And after that, I made some very short break because at one time I managed personally something like 15 companies, and it was a huge overload, even when some of the companies were small. And but I had already some very small investments. I had a small telecommunication company on internet telephony, which has grown since that. And after a couple of years, I invested in the pretty significant company called NetDirect, which was a major provider of e-shop solutions. They were actually my former employees in the computer press, who, when they pursued their own way, but we still were on the friendly terms. That's maybe to be good to say that it's important to still maintain a good relationship with the people, even when your paths will diverge. So still say, okay, paths are diverged, but we are still friends. So they invited me to their company, and a couple of years after, we successfully exited it to the major international player, one of the largest companies today. And during that time, I started to invest in some other companies, and one of them was a Kiwi.com.
Yeah, well, Kiwi is a big story, but I think there are many more, many other interesting stories. So you started investing, and I guess you not always have majority share, or if you ever had.
Only in one company, actually.
Okay. So, well, I might say from what I remember that you were probably the first real angel investor in the country, really investing in minority shares. Many investors are afraid of having only minority shares. How do you see that? Did it always pay off, or did you have some troubles with your founders?
Okay.
Others?
Well, I'm saying that the companies I'm investing in is that this is your company. I'm supplying the fuel, some advice and inspiration, and that's it. And because before I enter the company, we need to be on the same ground regarding exit. So we need to understand each other, that the way the company is pursuing could be difficult to predict, and it is always difficult to predict. But we need to be on the same ground in the and agree, absolutely agree, authentically agree that at what time we will leave the company, both, or you will let me leave. Because okay, you can stay, you are founder, it is probably you are doing it for the life, and you love it, and you want to stay. It exactly happened with Kiwi and with others. When I entered and I left, I mean exited. Yeah? And if you agree on that and understand with the founder at the very start, it's fully okay to have a minority. Because if I had a majority, then it is my company, not him. But I need him to manage the company, not me.
Exactly, and it must be a difficult task with your experience, or just not to be too much involved in the company, just let it go to the founder. Do you feel sometimes the willingness to step in and just do it yourself?
Well, sometimes there are better periods and worse periods in the life of every company. It is very rare that company is so good that doesn't need any deeper involvement in all the carry on the life cycle of the company. Maybe really one exception was Kiwi.com. Yeah. because the guys are so good that they did not need it any more guidance. We did a lot of meetings and discussions, but they really did not need the guidance. In other cases, okay, there are some moments that the investor needs to step in. In some cases, maybe we have now one case now that I am solving, that probably I need to actually something like recreate the founders. It means to get a second round of founders to really push first founders out and get something like a new generation of founders or co-founders in. Those are some difficult times, and it's actually, it means that I made a bad decision entering in such company because this is a good outcome. It is painful, but it happens. Yeah? But luckily, it has happened only once in all my career.
How many companies do you currently have in your portfolio?
Hey, I don't know. Well, it is like 15. because because it is a lot. It is a big number, and I'm spending a lot of time with it, working with this discussing meetings and so on. And some of companies I have together with others. So I have something like two, let's say, some micro funds that I'm more passive than usually. For example, one is a fund targeted on the specifically e-commerce, where the other colleagues are top guys in Czech e-commerce. Yeah. So this is a fund that I'm leaving it a lot of others say. So, but all in all, it is something like 15 companies, and I think that I did at all, and okay, then I decided it is even feasible to have more.
Okay, so you do co-investment with others, with other
in
investors.
Some cases, yes. Yes, in some cases, yes.
Yeah.
I
So
like
what do
it
you-
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Just maybe to note, that I view it as a very good way, because we can share responsibilities, and we have a good platform to discuss things. That I'm not only the wise guy, super wise guy, and there are others. I'm very glad that we can share ideas. So again, this is added value. Yeah.
No, absolutely it is. I absolutely agree with you. I can't imagine angel investors working as a lonely wolf, because it's a fun job. You like what you're doing. You like meeting other people, be it investors or be it founders. That leads me to the question: what do you like most on angel investments?
Meeting with the brilliant young people. That's something that I really love. Yeah, to meeting people that have the ability to change the world, or at least some local markets. I really love the young people that are brilliant, full of energy, very modern, very, let's say, understanding how the world is functioning and understanding the things. So I see that they are much better than we were when we were young. So that's something that gives me energy, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Like in one podcast, the motto of one podcast: "Seeing tomorrow's world today," and that's really it is. Yeah. But there are every angel investor has different motivations, different things that he or she likes most. But it's always money. You are an investor, and you measure your success by money. What do you think an angel investor? What was the profit that an angel investor could expect? What's
I would say that some really metrics for success is more common in the funds. Yeah, the fund really looks on everything, or not everything, but okay, the investments through the financial tables, because the fund raises some money and needs to get some money back to the sources of the money, to the investors. The angel investor has an advantage that he actually doesn't necessarily needs to make some sort of return after 5 years. Let's say, okay, I need from every investment to make this sort of return 300% or 400%. It is not so. I still view as actually for me, the motivation is to make things happen, feel the companies grow. And the outcome could be exit, but I'm not absolutely focused on exit, yeah? Because I don't need to. Yeah? The people that are giving money to some fund say, okay, I need something in back. After 5 years, I need my money back with some return. The angel investor could view at this a little bit differently, case by case. Of course, the exit is a standard outcome, but I'm quite happy. I have no problem to be a long-term investor in the company when it is some, you say, engaged investing. Yeah? So, for example, it is some investing with social impact. And I like the social impact as well. And for me, it is a value. Okay, I believe that on the end of the day, which could be in, let's say, 15 years, which is long time, there will be some exit. But again, not necessarily. And this is very good in terms of relationship with the founder, because he has more freedom. He's not forced to make exit in 5 years.
Yeah, many funds start behave similarly, but well, at least we are trying to bring more angel investors in the game, and it's sometimes not easy to explain what the real success means. How much money you can really make.
Because I don't have a straight metrics. It is difficult to say. As much as I can. So you cannot. Well, Kiwi was a success beyond all imagination. Yeah, the percentage was totally out of bounds. Yeah. But you could not expect it, you could not plan it. Yeah. So it was that, okay, we were very lucky with Kiwi.com return. In some other cases, I see that the return will be smaller because the roof for this business is much lower. So you simply could not make, 40,000% or so. Yeah. You will be, I will be happy when I will make double or triple, okay. But it has some other impact too, yeah. But some of the businesses I'm in have the potential to make really thousands of percent of return. But okay, this could happen or could not. Yeah, this is nobody knows it. Yeah. So I'm open. Yeah, I don't say that I'm going only in that type of software. So company, I expect this sort of return minimum, because I'm afraid that this approach is actually limiting your decisions, and yes, in a wrong way. Yeah.
What type of companies do you invest in? Is it always the IT or
yeah, okay, good question. Yeah, Got it. What I love most is something that is on the borderline of two worlds. Yeah? Of the physical world, this is disrupted by technologies. I feel that this is the area where the largest value can be created. I don't like the pure technology companies, like something like internet for the internet or technology for the technology. I know that they are money, okay, fine. But I feel that this old school businesses like energy, financials, medicine, transportation, agriculture, yeah, are perfect segments to be transformed by technologies. And what is most important, there are money. And there is supply, there is demand, there are products. People need to eat, people need to travel, people need some energy, some electricity, people need how to handle the finance. So they are customers, there is market, there is the pie that could be eaten by us. And the only thing that is needed is to come there, disrupt it through technology and grab the market.
And what about hardware? Most investors exclude anything that touches hardware. How do you see that?
I don't. Actually, I'm trying to evaluate every investment case by case. I try to approach to that like it is the first investment I ever made. Yeah. So without any prejudice. Yeah. I'm against the evaluating like this segment is sexy, this is not sexy. No, I think that travel, I know that travel is nowadays almost dead, we know it, yeah? But I would like to invest in travel, yeah? Because travel will be up again at sometimes, yeah? And it's perfect time to invest because all the brick and mortar company are just thinking how they will survive, yeah? Some will not survive. They have absolutely no stamina, no energy to do something new. They will be happy if they survive. It's a perfect time to bring up some nice startup in travel. Everybody will say, oh, travel, this is dead, yeah, this is over. No, it is not over. Yeah, so, but I'm judging case by case. Hardware, okay, hardware is a little bit difficult. You are right. Hardware is a long way, expensive, but on the other hand, there are not so many competitors in the hardware. Just because of this reason I just said, yeah, there are few competitors.
Yeah, and we live in the company that in country that is based on machinery and industry.
Right, engineering. Absolutely,
engineering.
We are natural born engineers. Yeah, we are one of the best in the world. Yeah, together with sell Germans, Swiss, some UK, some Italy. We are one of the best engineers, truly.
And did you ever find a startup in engineering?
Yes, I have one now. I'm discussing. So I have a startup that does hardware. So I have one hardware startup. But now I have on the table a pitch that I'm studying right now and discussing with founder, which is really purely engineering startup. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. By the way, can you talk more about startups in your portfolio? Something that you like on them, or something?
Oh, it is a long talk. Give me some hint or something for me not to talk too much.
Yeah, well, do you have some unicorn in your hand? What do you believe?
There is one startup I like, which is special. It was founded by extremely young guys. They were like 17 or so. Yeah. So extremely millennials, extremely young people, brilliant one. Targeted against the bullying in the schools, which is a big social problem. And again, I'm hinting on the social investing you have in your conference or in engaged investing. So I say the guys are brilliant. The segment is very interesting because this is a big problem. Okay, the business model is maybe a little bit difficult because they are public schools and so on. It's difficult to get money from the schools. We are now selling in like 30 countries in the world, in Africa, in Latin America, everywhere, in Switzerland. We have some 5,000 schools but it is still a small market. But suddenly, what happened is that the European Union has adopted a measure when all companies with 50 and more employees in the EU will be obliged to have this sort of software, starting something like 3 years from now. And we have the software. Only company in EU which has the software to now is the FaceApp technology. Okay, so that maybe could be a unicorn because really we are best positioned to grab this huge market of every company. Okay, this is difficult. It's not so easy to grab this huge market, but we are working on it. And this is the thing I love. Yeah.
You can even name, you can use it as a publicity for your company.
No problem. Yeah. So that's one company. I like those people. Yeah, that's really great guys.
Yeah, we are having a conference. It's called Engage Investments. How do you engage with your with companies you invest in? What do you give them beside money?
What they want to, what they need to. So I'm not telling them I will give you this and this and this. I'm telling them, okay, this is my background, this is my experience, and if you ever will need something, just call me, just ask me. And from time we will create some model of the cooperation with the company. Of course, there is usually a typical task for the investor. I'm not a financial guy. I'm more inspirational guy. Yeah. But still, I learned something. So the corporate governance reporting is one thing that I'm painfully implementing in every company I invest. I hate it, yeah, but it needs to be done. And I have this experience. So I say first, okay, guys, next couple of months we will work on financial system of viable financial reporting that will give us a clear picture of the company. It will be simple. We will give the clear picture to you too, yeah, and so on. Yeah, so that's a role model. Yeah, but with every company, I have a different, let's say, level of cooperation as the founder needs. Some founders really are asking me for the advice very frequently. I never decline. Some say, some know what to do. I just inform me, and I'm happy to with it. Yeah. May I mention just one more startup, which is very, very interesting.
Sure.
I don't know if we have space here. This is again something. This is, for example, important to say. It is very similar like the previous one, that you never know what happens in the future, and that's interesting. That I like to say that how important is to be open-minded, not to limit yourself like this is sexy segment, this is not sexy segment, this will give you only 300 return maximum, so go away with it. This is actually a guy from the universities, let's say scientists, and they have some tool that is extremely helpful tool for the top sportsmen, sport people to better train. Yeah, I would not go into big details, but it is based on some characteristics of the heart. And the guys really studied it 20 years, and they have probably a couple of years advantage before everybody in the world. Yeah. During a lot of times studying the human body, the scientists came to the conclusion that actually a best device in your body is your heart that will help you to monitor a lot of states of your health, of your training, of your conditions, of your rehabilitation, of everything. Yeah? And this is very complex. We are measuring like 20 different characteristics in 1,000 of a second interval. Yeah? So this is really a lot of science around it. Okay, there is a market. Some top world sportsmen are using our device. The only problem is we cannot name them publicly because it is sort of their secret. But I only can tell you that we have some Olympic winners, world-class, world championship winners, a name that you surely know, and our guests surely know them, but I could not, unfortunately, name them because they say, hey guys, this is my secret weapon. Yeah. So sorry, that's pity that you have references, but you could not name your references. And again, on top of that, what happened is that after some testing, we say, hey, we can measure, and it looks like that is bullshit there. We can, let's say, slow your aging. They say, hey, this is bullshit. Yeah? No. This is true. Yeah? I really can say, I can believe that a lot of your listeners will not believe that. Yeah? That this is a thing that is called functional age. Yeah? So you have some real age, your calendar age. This is not important actually because the dead doesn't know it. But the functional age is how really you are, how technically your organism is at it. So somebody could have 60 years of age, but has heard of a 40 old guys, and some 40 old guys will be like 60. And again, your heart is a perfect monitor of all the states. And we can tell you how your real age is evolving. If you are getting older faster or slower than your physical age. And we can advise you what you can do to slow the pace of the aging. In a very short interval, we can say, hey, you need to do this. After 10 days, the device will measure as your health. You are doing well. Yeah, you are aging slower than you usually. Or no, work more. You are so it is like pretty exact measuring of something that we understand. Yeah, we understand that if you eat well, sleep well, you have a lot of movement, you are on the sun, yeah, and so on and so on. You don't have a stress that you will be very well at, yeah, physically. But we are giving you pretty exact measuring. And I think this is really, really breakthrough, and nobody in the world has it. It is something that a lot of universities is starting to giving grants at the research, because the world has understood that this is something big. And we had some couple of years, before the market. This is something that could be really, really extremely big.
Oh,
So I love it.
that's going to be good. Yeah, thank you. Well, one question: Do you invest only in Czech companies or abroad as well?
Czech and Slovak, let's say. Mostly, I'm not saying no against the other companies. I have some good contacts with one startup in Serbia, for example. The reason why I am slightly prefer the local companies is of the cultural understanding. Yeah. If you have some the same or similar social cultural background, it is much easier to understand each other, to really understand what is behind the person, to understand the person. Mutually, they will understand me. Yeah. So this is much easier for me to pick the right founder if he is Czech or Slovak. It would be difficult if he's a Dutch guy or let's say a Finnish guy, because there is really, there are cultural differences, and we can, and easily there could be a misunderstanding. And after all, it is better to travel just 2 hours by car, and there is a lot of brilliant minds in Czech Republic to serve them.
Do you find them enough here?
Yes. I'm surprised how many brilliant young people are there. Sometimes their first ideas are not the best one, but they could evaluate them, throw them away, come to me after a couple of years with something better. But there are enough brilliant minds, and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, looking at the future, I think more and more people, even here in the middle of Europe, understand that startups are the center of entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurship is needed. What would you say we can do to improve and to bring more people to startups, to entrepreneurship?
It is a fun. It will give some new quality of your life. Yes. So, okay, you can invest in some office center. This is nice, but this is certainly not fun. Or you can invest in young people. It will give you other level of rewards, not only money.
That's wonderful. If you look, well, not many people know it, but Silicon Valley, the success of Silicon Valley is based on angels, angel investors.
I know.
70% of all startup investment in Silicon Valley are angel investments. Numbers, not volumes.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to go this direction even here, and just to bring more investors to angel investment. So, are you open to thinking more about co-investments, syndications, things that are in US? Things
I understand. This is actually, I think I'm trying to find out the best way. Yeah. You're absolutely right that the angel investment pool in the US is one of the biggest keys to the success. I read some statistics, there is something like 60,000 angel investments per year. That's huge. If only 1% will result in unicorns, look how many unicorn corporations will emerge, and that's it. Yeah. And the chance is that one of the 100,000 or so will make a top world-class company. Yeah. And I believe that you can use a broad approach to that. First is that I'm investing myself. I'm sort of not reluctant to talk about it, so I'm very happy to, for example, to be host of your program and talk about it, and to say others, hey, let's do it together. Let's do it as well. I'm happy to co-invest with you. I'm happy to share the experiences. I'm happy to discuss. The market is big enough for all of us. Yeah? On the other hand, I also trying to approach it systematically, so that we founded some association of angel investing that specifically promotes this sort of investment in the Czech Republic, because I feel that this is actually area where what is most needed. There are some, not enough, but okay, there are money for the growth companies, for the growth phase, and they maybe are missing the company of the top of the tier when the large money are needed. So that's maybe a pity that the companies that will grow enough, they will get money from abroad and they will become American company. It's a pity that Kiwi.com is now American company because the American investor has a slight majority. Yeah. I would love to keep Kiwi.com a local company that raised money on, let's say, some local capital market, but they are none, almost a capital market. But okay, there are some growth money. There's maybe some money of the top of the tier, but not enough to come. But there's not enough angels. Yeah? So not enough the people that are crazy enough to, hey, this is a million crowns and let's show what hides inside of you.
Exactly. That's what I love the association, the idea. We are members as well, and there is much to be done to bring more popular investments.
Absolutely.
Because is the creation of the companies where Europe or Czech can be strong. I'm afraid that sooner or later the successful company will always go to US or Asia because there is much more money than here. But the creativity.
Exactly, innovation and creativity, and I think this is even more significant. I believe that we have some window of opportunity in Czech Republic, so that maybe will last for some 20 years. We have the opportunity to build world-class companies with a local capital. It will be more and more difficult through time because as the company will grow richer and richer, it will be more and more difficult. And now the real advantage, one of the real advantages that you can found company, give a life of the company still for a low money. Yeah. This sort of unfair advantage, it will last for maybe 10, 15 years, but it will not last forever. If we had Austrian salaries or German salaries, it would be much more difficult to give an angel money because simply it is a lot of money and the risk is high.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Yeah, I'm looking right now in questions from public, from online. And first question,
perfect.
The exit. How do you decide when to exit?
Oh. The perfect timing of the exit is sort of wizardry, of course. Yeah. I think that one of the most important rules is not to be too greedy. Yeah. I've met a lot of companies that the founders or investors were too greedy. Yeah. It's the golden fish story. Yeah. So they could get 300 million and say, hey, next year we could get 400. Okay, after this, somebody offered them 400. Next year we could get 600. Next year the company has folded. Yeah. So many stories when the investors still had not enough. You need to know where you had enough, when your return is satisfactory. At those moments, consider exit. Okay, the exit is a process, which is difficult and lasts years in some cases. Okay, but test the water. Speak with the funds, speak with the strategic investors. Look if there is enough market, enough reaction, active reaction, and consider to do the exit. Yeah. So for me, the key point is not to be over greedy and sell in the moment when you are satisfied with the return.
Just to know where it is. That's not easy.
Yeah, it is wizardry. Yeah, it is. No, you cannot say exactly if it has some exact metrics. No, it doesn't have. Every company is different. Every competitor is different. Every strategic investor or financial investor is different. There's a lot of parameters that are changing, evolving through the time. We have a COVID crisis this year. Yeah. Could somebody said a year ago that, for example, air travel industry will be in complete debris? Nobody. Everybody say, hey, this is growing 10% every year, and next year 10% up, 10%, let's keep it. No, nobody could predict it. Yeah, so that's why my approach is very straightforward. When I'm satisfied, I sell.
Next question was, is there any industry or any sector where you would recommend founders to look at and found a company?
I already mentioned some segments. I believe that the potential is in energy. Energy is on the edge of big disruption. And it could be many focuses, many phases of energy. You don't need to start a plant. Yeah? So there's a lot of things that you will connect a different type of energy, smart energy, energy grids, yeah? Monitoring, and so on. The other that I feel that also is on the verge of big disruption, it is already happening, is such. You know, there's a climate change that is inevitable. We could not avoid it. Yeah? This is happening, yeah? And it will be worse and worse. And it is more and more difficult for the standard people working in agriculture to have the field agriculture industry as a couple of years, hundreds years ago. So the transformation of agriculture through technology is, for me, is a next big thing. Yeah. So those are segments that are you can really keep it in your hands. It is hardware actually, and energy is hardware too, where everybody needs it. They are very big segments. They are one of the biggest at all, and they are on the loom of disruption, of major profound change that will probably leave no stone unturned. Today's winners, like the largest companies in both fields, could be zero in 10 years, completely destroyed and taken over by the technology startups.
Absolutely agree. Have you ever invested in a company that you didn't really trust in or didn't believe in the business?
No. That's a prerequisite, absolutely. So you need to believe. You need to believe people, and you need to believe that the business, the value proposition or business proposition is right. Okay, in some cases I was wrong, but it is no way to invest in somebody you don't trust. No way. Yeah.
That's probably part of the question. Do you invest more in people or in business?
More in people, actually. Yeah, this is my approach is that even when the business will turn not as good as expected, the people will do it. And I gave you two examples of two businesses that actually the original business was rather small, but the founders has founded something that is during the course of the company pivoting stages. We are still pivoting, trying to find a way. They discover something new. The Kiwi.com was the case, yeah, because the company has totally changed a business model twice. So original business model that I gave Oliver first money was completely different. We change it. They say, hey, this is the business. No, it proved be completely wrong. And the third business model was golden, but nobody knew it at the moment. But because the founder was a brilliant guy, he discovered it. Yeah, so there's more and slightly more into people, but okay, the business has to make sense, of course.
Well, I wonder, would you invest in somebody who had failure before, who went through bankruptcy or whose project failed?
Yeah, no. I just would like to look at the failure and understand the character of the failure. If it is a failure because the founder has proved that he's, for example, not able to manage the company, well, that's a problem. Yeah. But if the failure is just a bad estimation in a very difficult conditions where nobody could estimate it, hey, no problem, that happens.
Okay. Yeah, because that's one of the biggest differences between the US and Europe in general, just acceptance of failure. That leads me to a question on due diligence. How well and how deep you do due diligence before you invest?
Okay, not too much. It is a boring thing to do due diligence. I don't like it. And for me, you know that I'm actually investing in the very, very early phase, where there is almost nothing to deeply scrutinize. Yeah. But what my approach is that I'm putting it on the responsibility of the founder. So the founder will sign in documents in SHA or something like say that he will give me warranties, that there is nothing wrong. And if it is, he will bear a personal responsibility. So instead of scrutinize every document, every invoice, and I don't know every page of the legal documents, and turning it and say, hey, this is your responsibility. You are saying that everything is okay. If not, you will pay a hefty price.
Okay, thank you. Can you recommend a book for angel investors?
No.
Book that...
Do it your way. Learn by example or learn by your work. I'm not a friend of this sort of books. Sorry. Well, read what you want to. Well, personally, I recommend to broaden your education, not narrow it on to just read some business books. No, read everything, please, to get a broad understanding, and value will come that you will put together the different knowledge you will get from different sources, books, magazine, online, conferences, everything. You will create a new quality. I very much believe in very, very broad understanding of how the works is functioning.
Yeah. And what are the biggest mistakes the startups do, and what they should avoid, in your view?
Okay. One of the mistake I'm unfortunately learning in almost every pitch desk I'm getting in my mailbox is that the startups are not paying enough attention of competition over companies that do something similar. Say, hey, wow, the competition looks like. There is no competition. Sorry, the guy comes.
Sure.
There is no competition. I say, hey, I don't know. Sorry, this is not true. Always there is a competition. The competition is good. We are much better. Say, hey, your competition is 10 years on the market. They have some successes. They got financing. They really believe they are so bad. Yeah. So this underestimating of competition, or even ridiculing the competition also. That's very, very bad approach. Yeah. A lot of companies, they will invent something, and they love it. That's fair. But they are completely reluctant to look on the world. For example, order the product, or became a customer, and test the competition throughout it. This is really like we are in some protected area living. No, we are not. Yeah? We are living in the world. Yeah? So that's very, very, very frequent mistakes, and I'm very unhappy. Every pitch desk need to re-challenge them and say, hey guys, this is brilliant, but please, competition landscape. Yeah. Difficult discussions. Yeah. The other, I don't know if it is a mistake, but I think that it is a mistake, is that in these days, the founders of the startups, they came just with an idea, and they just need to validate the idea. You know, so they are in the very, very, very first phase. Ask for a lot of money. Yeah. Say, hey guys, fair, but you have just an idea. You don't have a prototype. You don't have no validation. Yeah. I can give you 10% of that sum, validated. Then I can give you a more and more and more in some rounds. So, hey, no. I believe that we need €1 million. Nobody will give you €1 million when you have just an idea. Even the US, that is almost very surprised me. The average size of the angel investor, of the very, very angel investor, very first one, is something like $30,000. That's nothing. But the Czech entrepreneurs, they have almost zero cost, asking for €1 million. Yeah. So this is some unhappy situation when I need again and again explain them that this makes no sense. Yeah. So this is not a mistake, but this is like tedious task to explain in how that it is actually a wrong approach.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, looking at the statistics, the average ticket of angel investor is the same in US, Europe, and even in Czech. We run the overview and statistics here, and it is the same. So about roughly 25,000 euros per investor.
That should be, yeah. And you can very easily and very fast get a new round if you make some validation. Yeah, that how it should be. Yeah, quick steps, guaranteed, so he doesn't need to go to again scrutinizing, but say, okay, let's just plan the phases, plan the small round, second round, third round, all angel rounds, perfect.
Different question: when you make investments, do you prefer to sit on the board?
Yes. I think that investor should be in the board because this is part of the value he's giving back. But in the very small startups, the board is, I feel that board is a formal body. Yeah. In the small startups, it's not need to make a formal body. It's good to have some rules. For example, how the reporting should look like and how the board meetings should look like and how frequent and so on. We don't call it a board, we call it a board in parentheses. Yeah? So we say that is something like the board. When the company, let's learn it. Let's get used to it that sometimes when we will get older, there will be a real boards. Yeah? But let's try to learn it. Let's try to emulate something like the board. So I'm actually teaching them, even when the small startups, to have something like the boards. And yes, that's just actually, there's always, in every investment, I'm a member of, let's say, board.
Yeah, thanks. Obvious. I wonder, since COVID, have you done any investment? And have you done any investment online purely?
What do you mean purely online? What do you mean by that?
Without ever meeting the founder, which this is this discussion worldwide now. if you can do.
No. Actually, we finished one investment by our Garage Angels group, which is informal group of investors. We signed it, let's say, 2 weeks ago. I don't know it is public, but it is in the area of the smart agriculture, actually. Yeah? We finished it, I think, 2 weeks ago. And in some other investment, I had a second round. Yeah? So second deposition of money during the last 3 months. Yeah? And I believe that in a month or two, I will finish another investment, which is in some innovations in the in the soft drink industry.
Yeah.
So I like hardware. This is hardware, actually.
Yeah, great. So you are great. So we are going to the end. I know that in 10 minutes you have to run for another meeting.
Unfortunately, sorry for that.
Yeah. Well, that's no problem. But do you have something you want to say without being asked? What would you say to future angel investors?
I'm usually speak to the founders, so to the entrepreneurs. So my final words are just do it. Yeah, just don't think too much and do it. And be active, be innovative, try it, test it. Don't think too much. Just do it. To the fellow investors, don't be disappointed by some fair disappointments. They will happen. They are more likely to be disappointments than successes. So don't be sad. Don't turn away from the angel investing when first two investments will look like not a good one. Yeah, so not a failure, but okay, not good, not terrible. Just continue to work because you are also learning, and maybe your next investments will be better. You will make smart decisions.
Good, thank you. And by the way, how happy are you with Czech conditions? Czech support to angel investors, to startups at all?
Yeah. Not too much, obviously. You know that we are on the same same team playing with the government. Well, I would not blame them, because for them it is a completely new thing. This maybe, let's blame ourselves. We need to articulate what we exactly need from the government, what laws to allow not only us, but to allow all the industry to work better. So there are some fine tunings in the law that will make all of us to be more successful and do it easily, not to find workarounds somehow in the tax system and so on, but to be very straightforward and easy. So let's blame ourselves. But the business is very young. Yeah, the angel investing maybe 5 years ago, nobody would even say the word. What is angel investing? What the hell? Yeah? You are angels or gods or whatever. Yeah. Now it is becoming a more commonplace word. You know that I have on some workshop with Ministry of the Finance and people from the Ministry of Finance and National Bank, and the term angel investing started to resonate. Say, okay, we know what it is. They're starting to learn it. Yeah? So let's be together more active, and let's push it a little bit in the right direction to become a country that is more open, like, for example, US is. Yeah, the US is, they are gods. Yeah. this country, how easy it is to fund a company. It costs you nothing, actually. Yeah. The company, no time and no money. How easy it is, and compare how difficult is it here. Yeah. So let's try to improve this environment. It is on us, and nobody will do it if we will not. If we are not do it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is what we need most on a long term,
One thing that I would really love to, really love to do is to put something into Czech tax regime, tax laws or general trade laws, to allow this what is called ESOP. It means employee stock option plan. For us to have an easy tool how to motivate people to hire two people or to remain at the company, to really devote their time to the company. Let's say. I'm usually saying, hey, your 5 years belongs to me, so you will work relentlessly hard every day. Yeah, if not, let's forget it. Yeah, but I need to reward you. Yeah, and I need a top people reward, not only the founder. Yeah, I need a tool, and the tool is called stock option. Yeah, but it is extremely difficult under Czech law. If we get it, we will be miles ahead again.
Absolutely agree with you. And if you look on the in the Silicon Valley, the majority of angels are ex-managers of Facebook, Google, and those. All of them that have
absolutely.
They left with plenty of money. We don't have it, but it's not only Czech. It's Europe wide. You know, we don't have it here.
Absolutely. If we will not do it, the best brains will go to US. That's the problem. Yeah. Because not everybody is able to found a company. Yeah, most of the people are just brilliant. But if we will not get them the easy chance to make a big bucks on the Czech startups, they will just move to Silicon Valley and will work for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah. Well, Jiří, thank you very much. We are running.
Thank you.
Out of the time. Thank you very much, and I hope in a year time when we make the Engage conference next year we'll join. Unfortunately, this year in a 1 week I will invite everybody to join. It will be only online. We won't have the fun of meeting, of talking to each other is the perfect thing that we probably miss. But anyway, the one good thing on online meeting is that you can meet with people on other continents. So this time we'll have more people. So join
next time in personal chit chat. It is still the best thing. And thanks to everybody who listened. And thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we welcome everybody to invest in as angel.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Bye.